Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. As I said, a number of people are having trouble joining in. I can see some of them are joining in now, and I think some of them will be joining later. I'm not sure whether it's network issue or some application issue, but yeah, they will be joining soon. Once again, welcome to today's session, and without wasting much time, I would like to hand it over to Dan to deliver what he has in store for us tonight. And once again, Dan, thank you so much for your time and dedication to the Get Up project, and we really appreciate. We are learning things that we never thought we would, and some of the things are really, really helpful. We are applying them as we are designing for other people and other institutions. So Dan, you can have the floor. It's your time.
All right, thank you. So for today's class or session, I wanted us to look at a design brief. So like a real world scenario, and then see how we can tackle it. I would ask that at least to this one, if we can have our mics unmuted so that we at least discuss a bit, and then yeah, I'll jump right into it. So just get the brief open. All right, so I think I shared this on the group, a step-by-step on how to create a brand. So the first part will say is get to know the company, right? So this is the brief. So it's a real world thing. It's someone sent it to me. So I was figuring like the deadline is tomorrow, but if you're interested to submit, and if you have enough time, so by 10 a.m. so maybe you can submit this. So I think the first part is the Ministry of Transport and Public Works has established that Maui Cargo Logistics Limited, so that's the name of the company. So for that, I'll just keep note of that. So as we mentioned, we're learning Figma. So the first thing I'll do is to create a frame. So shortcut is F, or yeah, so F. So I'll just create a simple frame, and then in here I'll put the name. So shortcut for text is T, and I copied it, so Control CV. So this process, I'll just say it's like more of like brainstorming, but I like to have the name of the company in like the forefront, because that's what I'm trying to do. It's a new company. Will focus on the following: developing, maintaining, and managing Maui Cargo's central facilities in Dar es Salaam, Mbeya in Tanzania, and other places in the country. Malawi or any other country where such or similar facilities may be located. So I'm guessing it's just Africa in general. So I'll put Africa. Establish the and carry on any business, trade, or undertaking, and be involved in transaction of the management movement. Okay, so I'm just trying to find words, or let's say adjectives, that will help me come up with the concept that I'll try to get out of my imagination, right? So transaction of the management, movement, storage, transportation, or dealing with cargo or whatsoever nature of import and export. So I think that's a good to and from Malawi and other countries to Malawi cargo, such as, okay, so import and export and transportation. So shortcut to copy this is Alt and drag. So take that, import and export, and then just say transportation. Okay, and logistics. Okay, and then mobilize such resources. Okay, so yeah, this is just the same thing, but getting to know the company. What this would make me do is then look for logistics company around the world in Malawi just to get inspiration. But I think this, to get to know the company, I think we at least know that they knew they do logistics and they'll be operating in Africa. So purpose of the proposal. So let's see what they want here. They want a logo. Yeah, they're looking for logo designers to design a logo that reflects the mandate. So this is like the goals, right? And that, I guess, falls into defining the goals. So we're in the discovery phase now. We can't Google this company because it's new, but I guess it's under government. So that's something we can do, at least to help us see how other government logos look, and then see if we can create some type of consistency here. So all right, yeah. So it should be recognizable as a face. Okay, that's the purpose of a logo. Be well designed, unique, and distinctive. Be eye-catching, simple, and scalable. Be eye-catching, versatile. Okay. Have symbols that reflect the objectives of the company, which I guess are the ones we just listed out. So I guess this could be considered generic. So I think those are some of the things I spoke about the last time, in terms of having a good brief and also asking the right questions. I think there will be some questions I could have asked using that same questionnaire just to get a bit more out of this. Because I'd say the first thing people do is, if the moment they see government, they're going to think of the colors of the flag. And personally, I don't like doing that, because then you see it's like a general trend that everything will either be those colors: green, black, red, and white, you know. So I feel if you can get those type of questions cleared out sooner, it's easier for you to like tackle this. So the selection process, they will review all the logo submissions based on originality and the requirements of the logo. So yeah, but this one really help us in terms of our goals here. I have to identify the customers and stuff. So we're going to just say maybe it's like governments and like more business to business trading. So those are our customers. So this is how we're going to submit. But I think with this one, we don't need to care about that for now. We should just get this out of the way. So I'd say first things is user profile 1 and user profile 2. So I think I had mentioned that the importance of personas is that it helps you put yourselves in someone else's shoes. So as I mentioned, maybe our first customer here will be a business, and then the other one will be the government. So that's what I would do in terms of looking for personas. So how will I tackle this? User personas template. So this goes back to this phase here again. So I like to remind myself often. We need to understand people. So let's see. Here's a user persona in Figma. We'll see that. And then we can look here at Mock Plus. So if you want to learn more about what is a persona, I'll send you the links. I'll share this on the group as well. But if you can see, what it helps you do is just to create a fake person who can like resemble a majority of people that could fall into the same category, right? So an age, so their demographics, their goals, you know. So it's like more personifying the goals that they've set out so that we can now tackle them properly. So they're fictional most of the time. It's not real people, defined based on the interactions that previous users have made with your product. But it's tackling that issue that I've stated here. We are trying to identify the customers. So looking at all this, I would say here, what should a user persona include? So I want to show you how I use AI in my day-to-day workflow. So for example, here I'm using Google AI Studio. So what I'll do is I've copied that what should the persona include. I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to go and search for Malawi economy 2024. So why am I doing this? The idea with AI, or the uses of AI, it's a tool, right? But it works best when it has context. So I wanted to understand Malawi's current situation. So that's why I'm looking for this. So if I open this, it's the economic situation for 2024. I think once it loads up, I would download this PDF and then send this to the AI and then tell it that I want personas that will match this. And in that sense is that I've given it an understanding of the current situation in Malawi, and then it's going to create personas that are more aligned with that goal. So let's see if it'll open quicker here. Okay, so the internet is slow. Okay, let's use Chrome. So, okay, help. Okay, so this is that I've done this Malawi economy thing before. So this kind of chart already has the context of the Malawian economy there. So I'm gonna help me create personas that align with this document. Consider it with the perspective of business to business and government. And then I'll upload this TOR. And then I need 2 examples that I can use for my brand design Okay, so this is like when it comes to prompting, the way I understand is like you first have to state like the goal. So here's the task that I wanted to do, and then you give it like the direction you want it to take, and then you then define that stuff now, like you break it down a bit more to say what exactly you want. And then because I'm using Claude, these are called artifacts. So use the artifacts in the chat as a reference. Yeah. So the goal is that we've given it context, we've given it the task, and then let's see what it creates. Okay. So you'll see like how is it able to structure it this way? If you can see, it's aligning with this, the demographics, the goals, is because in the chat earlier, I did provide a structure that I wanted it to output. So there. Okay. So that's good. So let's get this out of Claude and into hello.
Hello.
Hi. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped out of the call. When did I lose you?
I think you were trying to search for templates for personas or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. Sorry about that. The network.
Yeah, I think it was the same here. It also kind of kicked me out.
Okay. So yeah, downloads are bad. Okay, so I searched for the Malawi economy report for 2024. As I mentioned, I was just trying to give I was trying to show you how I use AI in my design process by giving it the context of the Malawian economy and then giving it the goals in terms of that company, what they want. I'm going to use AI, the economic report, to then create personas that align with the situation that's happening in Malawi right now. So that's where I was. So this file is taking long. I don't know why it's not downloading, but it must be the issue with the domain on that end as well. But what I did was I gave it the TORs, right? And then also gave it the instruction. Help me create personas that align with this document. So referring to that, consider it a perspective of business to business, government to government. And I need 2 examples that I can use for my brand design project. Use the artifacts in the chat as a reference. So based on this earlier on in this same chat, I had already uploaded that PDF, this economic report. So that's why it already has that context. So now based off what I asked it, I was just trying to explain how I prompt from what I've like learned on the internet. They say you provide a task and then you provide like the instructions that you need to be done in between for that task, and then the end goal in terms of what you want to achieve, and then using the artifacts. So when I'm using the word artifacts because in Claude, it refers to anything you attach in the chat as an artifact. So by stating artifacts, I'm referring to the TORs, the economic report, and all that stuff. Now I gave it this to search or to generate, and then it gave me this. So what I was in the process of doing now was copying this and creating the TORs, and not the TORs, the personas for the project. So there. So persona 1, and then we'll read through it just to get an understanding. So in this case, okay, just make the font bigger. So the demographics. So for this one, I like to add an image as well. It's important because, as remember, we're trying to have empathy. And so pixels. Another one that I use is called nappy.co. So pixels usually it doesn't focus on like black people. While nappy.studio, you can find a lot of images of black people. So it just helps in terms of context and perspective. All that stuff matters. So let's say they've created a fake person called Emmanuel Chibeta. So you can search black man. So yeah, I guess this looks like an Emmanuel Chibeta, and then the other guy is called Persona 2, Dr. Patricia Nyasuru. I think this is a lady, yeah? Yeah, I think it's a lady. So where was I? So here's the image of Emmanuel and black lady. Yeah, so I also like to use this this website, nappy.co. You find more like Africans and stuff. Or here it's like if you put African, it puts like someone in like the village. So I feel they don't really understand some of the things properly, but with Nappy, it's like their focus is that. So we are looking for Dr. Patricia Nyasuru. I think that looks like a Patricia Nyasuru. Okay, so we've got 2 images. That's our first persona. We're going to add it in. Insert image. Okay, so okay, so that's the first guy. Then the second one will sit there. This one I want to replace image. All right, so let's go through the first persona. His name is Emmanuel Chibeta. He's 42, lives in Lilongwe. He's a supply chain director. Okay. They have 120 employees. Then the agriculture exports. Okay. MBA in supply chain management. 15 years in export logistics. So this is like a veteran, So we need to appeal to someone like this. Okay, so Emmanuel manages logistics for one of my highest growing culture export companies. Okay. But this one's like breaking down maybe some of the challenges. But the good thing is these are more practical because we have that economic report that's back in this, third-party logistics providers to create. Okay. But it's like their business goals. Secure storage. So okay. What this does for me is like, for example, they're talking about reliable cargo transportation routes to international markets, right? So like the logo needs to appeal to international markets. That's how I'm using this that persona to guide me here when I'm designing this now. If you can see what I'm trying to do. Okay, and then it says here streamlined customer documentation and clearance processes. So that tells me that the things I need to design should be, letterheads, stamps, what else? Yeah, things that will handle this documentation process. So folders, the proper file, like filing things. So labels, like I should see the logo on those type of things. Secure storage facilities. So I should design like a warehouse and put the logo somewhere there, That's how I'm using now the persona to guide me in terms of this design process. Okay. Cost-effective logistics solutions. Okay. So it means it shouldn't be like too premium, I guess. It should still appeal to the local person as well. Real-time tracking of shipments throughout the supply chain. Okay. This just says more of like modern. Like it should look modern and should be maybe like an app icon as well. If you're talking about real-time tracking and stuff, Why I feel this is like way better than what we read here. These were very generic, like eye-catching, could be anything. While with the persona, it's giving more of like proper context, and I can relate to this person now better because I can put a name to it, right? So that's how I can suggest you should use personas. Yeah. And then pain points. So cost that we can't really manage that. Frequent delays, limited visibility of shipments once they leave. Okay, that's like proper business issues. Currency fluctuation, which is true, experiencing that. Limited warehousing facilities, which I guess we already touched on that. And then the goals that we can't really, it's not going to help us much. Reliability is okay there. So proven reliability and consistency of service. The moment I read a word like this, colors, that's what's coming to mind, right? So something that can communicate reliability and consistency, right? Security of cargo throughout the transportation chain. Okay. So apps, they're going to have some type of apps, mobile applications, they are there. Exactly. So it at least tells me where they want to see the logo. So at least that's in mind now. Done. A quote, I guess, is just to personify this better. We need a logistics partner who understands the unique challenges of agriculture exports and can offer reliable, cost-effective solutions that help us compete in international markets. I got that already. They want to appeal to the international market. Okay, so now let's read Patricia Nyasuru. She's 51, government offices, director of international trade. Okay, 22 years in public. So these are veterans. Yeah, so this it got from the TRs. That's fine. Okay. So these are more, as I mentioned, business issues. Can't really tackle that. Okay, this is just something you can like research more into. So maybe that one would have like policies and stuff that can at least maybe direct you on some of the things. Maybe you can't, the wording you can use in your documents, things like that. Reduce non-tariff barriers, improve margins. Okay. Okay, I think because Tanzania was mentioned, we can then maybe look for logistics companies in Tanzania as well. Alignment of information systems, databases, digital documentation, secure communication channels. Okay. Our goal is to create a seamless trade corridor, reduces costs for Malayan businesses while strengthening the regional economic integration and diplomatic relations with the neighbors. Okay, so something like this would then help me create like the in the brand guideline, the voice and tone. I would get it from these type of statements as well. So all that is to say that at least with what this exercise that we've just done here, we have a better understanding of our customer, at least. Instead of just saying government and business, at least we've personified it a bit more. So now let's define the brand. So yeah, we're getting the same thing already here. Okay. So this helps potential logo symbolism, movement and connectivity, protection and security, international bridges, effective modernization, national identity elements balanced with international look. So that at least is like more adjectives that we can put to this brainstorming thing I was trying to do. So am I still in the call? Okay, cool. So let's just put circles around here. So shapes, I'm going to put a circle around it. And I put a stroke. Okay. So now it's just for us to have a better, but I think you can see that I already picked up on some of these things. It's just now the personas just helped us like make it more concrete, but these are things you can easily pick up, and then now it's for us to implement. So as I mentioned, the whole reason why I'm doing this this process is for the brand guideline. I don't want to design a logo. I want to design a brand. Equally talked about the importance of a brand, because the logo, yes, will help me identify that company or that business, but the brand will now appeal to the right people. So let's tackle the brand. So first things first, I would use Pinterest, logistics company logo. So I'll go through something like this, just to see what other people are doing. And then I'll say logo, and let's say for government. Maybe. I don't know if this will really help. And then I'll go onto that link I shared, the brandstyleguys.com, and then I searched up the word logistics. So this one I feel maybe it's more, it's not recent. Let's look at the more recent one. Will I be able to see some pages? Okay, I'll do this. XP Logistics brand guidelines. Okay. So while that is loading, okay, there. August 2019. Brand guides. There's another one. Don't need that. Okay, so that's loading. That's okay, cool. So we're looking at logos, and then yeah. So let's see. Okay, one thing I'll pick up quickly is the use of arrows and lines in terms of, if you check move here, says so. So that's something, I guess, that ties into what we saw here. It's in the persona here, movement and connectivity. So yeah, arrows again, arrows. So that's what I would keep in mind. Okay, so there's not much to see here. say transportation. So I'm using TNM, so yeah, the network is not on our side here. Okay, but at least we got access to this. So that being, if you can see this, yeah, perfect. So this is a good example of where we'd want to see the logo and then explaining the brand itself, things like that. But what I wanted to see was here, this. Okay, these type of things, there's an arrow there, so it's I guess like a general thing. It's either have an arrow or some form of like a line that's doing something. So these are just all the points that I'll need to address in the brand guideline. And that's why I'm looking at this. And yeah, so this is what I would want to design and then send to the client as well. So this is really what I wanted to see here. So that's what I'll keep in mind. Let's see this one. So they rebranded. So this is 2019, this is 2018. Let's see what type of transition they made. Okay. Okay, see, I think they dropped this and just maintained. So they just became a bit more like rigid in terms of the colors. So that's a good observation. Colors, I think they're pretty clear. Yeah. So I guess, as I mentioned, that the brand guideline like grows with the company. So if you can see, there was only like 9 pages, yet here we've got 23. So I guess we can start with 9 or less, and then as the company grows, we can revisit. This didn't load. I'm just looking for inspiration, then we'll go into actual designing of the logo. I won't use AI to generate the logo. Like for that one, I feel it's debatable, but yes, it can generate a good image now. They've even improved it, but I still feel if you have some type of creativity and then you place it in your logo, then maybe after that you can generate variations or something. But if you just take what it gives you, I feel you miss out on like a very good opportunity to actually be creative. But yeah, it's open to debate. So I think the main things I've seen here is just the arrows, the lines, cutting of things. That's what I would want us to at least try create.